Hey everybody, Kane here and welcome to another video of Art of Conquest. In this one we're gonna continue the guide on heroes. For this one we have Lunella and Gazul. So we're gonna start with Lunella. Prior to that, I have not really put that much time into trying this hero out from like top to bottom, testing some stuff. So this build in particular for this hero is just what I think would actually be good. Whether or not it's good, I have not really put that much time into it. So bear in mind that this hero I didn't really touch that much. So as you can see, the weapon damage mitigation 20%. Pretty much all heroes that can put this, you usually want to put this because what's better than resistances is even more resistances. Aside from that, I have a Clash of Fate set. I don't have a paladin with this one particular set, so I decided to put this on Lunella. The only other set that you can put on her is either this one, which is the dragon set, I suppose, some HP recovery towards surrounding allies, or you can put a tag on her or something. I mean, it really depends what you really want to put on her, but since I didn't have this, a stun perhaps sometimes on the enemy Avril, because depending where that high health gladiator is, sometimes it can actually be Avril and can help you out slightly. I mean, it is 1 second, it's not huge, but can actually help out sometimes for a little bit and mess up their rotation. So aside from that, we have a couple of trinkets. So the first one we see is Excalibur, magic resistance 30%. Again, I am not going to win on stats for, or rather against, majority of the people that I face. Currently my temple is +7 almost fully, and I have a few stones, or more than a few stones, +8, like maybe 7, 8 or 9 +8 stones. And people are hitting already full +8 temples, the people that I'm facing, or +9 temples, and they have a ton of free stats in terms of heroes. And just me just going for stats is pretty much pointless, because regardless if I do focus properly or not, I'm gonna lose on stats regardless, just because of their temples and how high I am climbing in Duel Tower. So instead of just focusing too much on stats, I just go for the, I suppose, bonuses from equipments and make it so that they would benefit me more than winning on a couple of stats or stuff like that. That kind of is benefiting me more than, just trying so hard. So the majority of the fights that I'm actually fighting right now, I win on 1 stat, perhaps 2, and that's pretty much what I have. And even then, the fights are either the person is too strong and he flawlesses me, or the person is too weak and I flawless him, or the fight is a draw. And that's pretty much how the fight goes, at least at the moment. So aside from that, I have Band of Bishop. The reason I put this is because I have, there is ability here which has 5% health recovery per second. The thing is, this says health recovery and this says healing received. Now, again, as I said in the beginning of the video, I have not really put that much time into testing this hero. I don't have a second account on this realm, so I cannot really put this into test perspective to check whether or not this can help out. So if anybody has done testing and whether or not this helps out, do leave a comment down below for people, as well as I probably would swap this out myself. Aside from that, whenever I put this on, she started to get like 1 to 2.5 billion of healing inside of the fight if she doesn't get like deleted by some people. So it really depends. I don't think she was healing that much, but whether that healing actually like works, or that, like, if they're fake numbers or not, I really couldn't tell the difference per se, because I also have other healing on my stall side. And sometimes it's hard to tell because of the amount of healing you have, and that the healings have similar percentages of what they are actually healing. So yeah, that's a question right there. So aside from that, since this hero is on my stall side and touching, I think, 4 skeleton warriors, I have Valkyrie's banner. So you either want to put this one if she's touching your stall side swordman, or you want to put the Astrarian Fari. Again, it really depends where you place her, but if it's stall side, you want her to touch as many frontline as possible and pass on one of these bonuses. In terms of Prism, I have a buffing Prism on her. Aside from that, these are my stats on the Paladin, 160 million HP. And now for abilities, since I am using her in Lich Race, we pretty much don't need the first ability. I have Luna's Blessing maxed out for the health recovery and stuff like that, as well as the shield, I believe, that she gets. Then we have Crescent Moon at level 7. Now this one is acting sort of like a debuff on the enemy field. So she casts this ability. It has a decent reach when she's frontline, but not a very long one, that she probably could hit Avril, maybe Arian at the very least. That's how long or how short the range is. However, if she turns into range, she has a like moonlight beam or whatever, which touches the entire side, I do believe. So this skill is in better effect when she's in ranged form, but in ranged form she can actually die. So if this lands on a few particular heroes, like maybe Avril or so, you're gonna reduce a ton of damage from her, because this straight up reduces damage. And if a person wastes her abilities with this debuff, they're gonna do a lot less damage. And essentially you're gonna have more time with your gladiators, your paladins, etc. to out heal on your stall side. Because, I mean, if you end up out healing that and tanking that, eventually they might not even pass your stall side. So this is one of the, I suppose, tankier, more utility based defensive stall heroes, you might want to call it. I don't know. That is what I placed her there for. Then we have Starfall level 9. Now this in particular ability actually heals a decent amount. It says like 3000 HP, but it ends up healing from time to time from like 5 to 15%. But I think, I'm not sure, at one point I've seen more than 30%, but that could have been another heal proccing at the same time. But even healing a few percentages for, like, even if this lands on Balrog, Balrog has Band of the Bishop and all that kind of stuff, all of these things can actually have a lot more value if that particular hero has healing received, if they have Band of Bishops, all that kind of stuff. So since this hero is on stall side, you kind of want to have this maxed out. Then we have this one. This is a DPS ability. Doesn't matter. She doesn't do damage. It's resistance meta. Even if this says HP damage, doesn't do any damage. So you just want it level 1 or level 0. Doesn't matter. And then, of course, Moondance maxed out. The reason for that is she has more magic resistance in her melee form. And in her range form, she has bonus magic damage and attack speed. So I do believe the attack speed might actually make her proc abilities more from how some heroes work or some army works. Whether or not that's the case, I don't know. But this is what I kind of chose for her. Essentially, if you'd want to swap something, you could actually remove one level from this and perhaps have a couple of levels on this. But personally, I don't know, I kind of value this more because of the magic resistance. Less chances she would proc the ranged form, and when she does, I mean, she's likely to die right after, depending who's actually focusing her. And that's pretty much it. Potential I have at 20, and since she's a paladin, she's sort of tanking damage. I decided to put might and stamina, so I get a little bit more stamina for her. And that's pretty much it. There's not really that much else to it. I do believe I have one command on her since she is on stall side. Whichever one it is, you might want to figure out yourself. Now we have Gazul. So this is a pretty self-explanatory hero. He's buffing skeleton warriors and stuff like that. So the build here is probably crazy, and I agree it's friggin' crazy. At some point it could actually even be pointless. Because this one particular like summons a skeleton king. A lot of the fights, when Skeleton King is summoned, it instantly dies. I have no frigging clue why it dies, and it says it cannot be targeted by enemies and disappears if summoner dies. Gazul is alive, this shit dies instantly. I really cannot tell you why. Sometimes it does that. It bugs out like I don't know friggin' what. But you could use a different set, but pretty much no sets actually work on him. He does not have anything that works for him. So the only other thing that you'd want to put on him is eventually when you get a specific robe, and we're gonna talk about that in just a second. We need to go into the craft table because I don't yet have it, but I'm gonna have it soon. So we go into the crafting. Equip all, we go on Gazul. It has this particular robe, Skeleton Mastery +1. You're gonna want to have this. And when you have this, the build on Gazul will change. So you're gonna put this on the robe here. I do believe, yeah, this is the robe. And then the helmet will actually turn into a pretty specific one. Which is the feathered cap, an additional shield every so seconds. And that's pretty much what like quite a few heroes will be having on my field. Pretty much buffing, tankiness, surviving. That's it. And for the cape, I have no frigging clue what I'm gonna put on him. Probably a cape that will provide the most command possible, because I don't think that there is a cape that's any useful for him. In terms of weapon, as you can see, I have -2 cooldown on all heroes, but the reason I have this on him is 23 command. I don't think that there is any other equipment on here that actually provides that much command. And again, since I'm playing Lich Race, I need command, which buffs his abilities, which buffs my army. And that's pretty much it. In terms of artifact, you want Sky Totem on him if you're playing Lich Race. The reason for that is you want this hero to survive, so you require an invincibility on him. He's one of your main heroes on the field. Main buffers, rather. So you want an invincibility on him. In particularly Sky Totem, because Alana is a little bit more important than Gazul. And of course, because you're putting an invincibility on him, you kind of want to put one of the more important buffs on him. And I do believe this is one of the more important ones as well. So, aside from that, these are my stats on Gazul, currently level 73. In terms of abilities, Fearsome Aura maxed with a little bit of potential. The reason for that is increasing magic damage taken by enemy troops. If you're running mages and necromancers and magic damage, this is kind of important because you're gonna do more damage. Aside from that, Skeleton Mastery level 9, this will be level 10 whenever I get the robe. And as you can see, another ability is level 10 as well. So 3 important abilities will have +1 on them. Or the only important abilities on him will have +10. And this one is Immortal Strength, 46% and 28% chance to resurrect upon death. So, I think this will turn to like 70 or 65%, which is gonna help out a ton. And this one could actually hit decent numbers if I invested into his potential. The thing about this is it raises it by 24%, but in majority of the cases, the way the current battles work is this 24% might actually buy me just a couple of seconds. But if I'm not passing somebody, like a few seconds is not usually helping me. I mean, one fight out of 20, 30 fights could be okay, but the other fights, I think there are heroes who could use that potential investment better than this. I mean, again, really depends, since this is a raised buffer, but from the resistances, the buffs I have, I don't particularly need this one, because if enemy is not going to pass it easily, and they don't pass it easily, like a lot of 25 to 28 million cores or even below, take more than 1 minute to pass my stall, and when they pass the stall and kill a few heroes, pretty much it's a snowball from there, and I lose in the next like 30-45 seconds or whatever. But this could potentially make it a draw, but again, really depends, because you also have to invest into some DPS stuff and not just the tankiness, because if you have the tankiness, pretty much majority of your battles will be a draw, and you don't really want your battles to be a draw. And that's, I suppose, pretty much it. Pretty self-explanatory potentials and what you should pick. There is really no other choices. It's pretty generic, to the point that you don't really need to explain much else. The only other thing that I could suggest is if we remove this fearsome aura, let's see the abilities, you lose only 2%. So in such a case, because you lose 2%, I might actually put, where is it? I think I scrolled back. Something like this. And pretty much the hero is done. I thought I'd lose like 5%, 2%, fine. It's nothing. And that's pretty much it. That is how you sort of build, I guess, Gazul and Lunella. Since my Gazul is actually on my burst side because of the build that I have to have some defenses on him as well. That's pretty much it. Hopefully you learned, or rather, yeah, I did forget. I honestly have, I think, divine on Gazul, so I can make like nuances like that so people could guess what I have on him. However, I cannot really disclose those things in terms of video, because again, if people wanna try and you know, do something in terms of hero mastery information, they can try and figure themselves out. But again, as I said multiple times, I showed it a long time ago how it was better for me. And a lot of people had like failures in their formations or made a ton of mistakes. So that is one feature which I'm never gonna disclose on, except for the damage ones. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Do let me know in the comments down below whether or not this helped you out. If it did, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. Well, as if you would wish to support me more than just watching my videos, I have made a Patreon page where you would be able to do just that. In return, I would be able to help you out more individually in terms of events, PvP formations, and stuff like that. As well as I would like to thank all of my patrons for the support. I really appreciate it for your subscriptions. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching, take care, and stay safe out there.